Hello, beings. How are we doing? So, today is Wednesday, the 27th of May, and this is the card I pulled for today, the Two of Swords. So, the energy right now feels pretty weird, pretty foreign. We're in this in-between metamorphosis stage where it feels like nothing is really changing, nothing is really happening, but actually there is a whole lot of internal change happening and things coming to an end, parts of ourself, like old beliefs, coping mechanisms, thought patterns, loops, things that like the way that we think, because we're in Gemini season, right? The sun is now in Gemini, and Gemini is very cerebral. It rules the mind. It is ruled by the planet Mercury, which rules the mind. So suddenly our brains are loud, because when the sun was in Taurus, Taurus is very physical. It's all about the body. I freaking love Taurus season. It really grounds us. And because our whole world, our society is in this very Aquarian age right now where, things are very much about technology. Things are speeding up. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of threats to our existence as humans, aka artificial intelligence taking over, like robotics. So there's a splitting of timelines happening. And so when we shift out of Taurus energy, which is like our root chakra, it's like having everything that you need and feeling very safe in your home and in your body and just like the basic things in life, having your needs met, like food, shelter, water, connection, warmth. Shifting from that into Gemini, which is very cerebral and quite buzzy, it's a big shift, right? So Gemini would, in my interpretation, Gemini rules the nervous system because it's the nerves, right? It's like electricity firing off. And so our nervous systems could just feel like a bit, whew. So maybe the past few days were quite high activity, or when the sun first moved into Gemini last week, you were like, okay, cool, I'm getting shit done. A lot of mental activity, a lot of maybe laptop, desktop work, projects, things like this. And now the nervous system is integrating that and catching up, and it's a bit right, okay, because it's a big shift from the body to the mind. And there does tend to be a lot of change that happens during Gemini season because there's a lot of kind of neurons firing off of each other, so to speak. So yeah, the energy that we're in right now, I channeled some notes. Also, I want to remind people that Pluto is retrograde, and Pluto rules change, transformation, death, and rebirth. So when it's retrograde, it's that's not happening, or it's seemingly not happening. The changes, the pace that Pluto would usually move at, which is very fucking slow anyway, because true rebirth takes time, right? It's a process. We have to... This is what people don't misunderstand about the rebirth process. They forget about the dying part, right? Dying is the first stage, the decay, the rotting, the literal shedding. Look at my hands, right? My hands have been flaring up a lot since Pluto has been retrograde. I am ruled by Pluto because I'm a Scorpio rising, so Pluto is in my first house. So naturally, my body, whenever I'm purging, I feel it physically. So this is just one example of eczema on my hands, physically purging out of my hands. So when Pluto is retrograde, things are slowed down externally. So the projects, the things that you're wanting to get done just feel like they're not happening at the pace you want to do them. It's harder for you to action things. It's harder for you to stay motivated and consistent. But it's important to not like push too hard. Like, yes, discipline yourself and try and have some form of like routine and consistency for your projects, your work, like whatever it is you're working on or that you're passionate about that you want to create this year, because after all, it's the year of the fire horse. But remind yourself that the whole point of retrogrades is recalibration. So if things aren't moving very fast externally, it's because internally things are shifting, things are shedding, and new parts of yourself are slowly coming online. And I say slowly because, yeah, we don't, just as like people in general, we don't honor death, especially in the West, for the rite of passage that it is. So therefore we don't honor any sort of like pain, suffering, like all of these shadowy Plutonian aspects that are so integrally parts of life. Like, if we were to honor them more, then we can be more in that life force when that energy comes back online, because we've actually fully let ourselves shed, and we're not just like, yeah, I'm shedding, but we're not really. We're just like, come on, when, like, very Aries energy, like, when are things going to take off again? Like, wanting fast results. Like, Pluto is, it's long-term gain, like slow results, like meaningful results that take time. So also this energy of like frustration is amplified this week because Mars and Pluto are square. So a square aspect is a tense aspect. When planets are squaring each other, this came through this morning and I was like, I love this because I'm Scottish. So it's like they're square going each other. So like in Scotland, if you'd say like, oh, do you want a square go? Like if someone's gonna like square go you, mate, it's like they're wanting to fight you. And that is basically what a square feels like in astrology. It's a tense aspect. So if Mars and Pluto are fighting each other, that looks and feels like Mars wanting action, power, like movement, quick results, fighting Pluto, which is teaching us that really meaningful long-term stability and results take time. So we have to honor the death decaying process, which Mars does not like because it's so fiery. And then so Pluto is kind of like holding the fort, you know, like Pluto is the tower that's gonna hold its stance, really, because it's a much slower, stronger, older planet. So yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Mars is also very heady. If you think about like Aries, you know, Aries is ruled by Mars, so it's very like headstrong. It's very like, no, I know the way. I need to keep going in this direction. This is the direction. This is what I planned. This is what I've been planning. I need to be like this. And Pluto's like, yeah, but recalibration exists, bitch. So stop thinking you know it all. Stop thinking that just because you've, you know, maybe planned financially or your manifestation board at the start of the year had this destination, but now it's changing. Recalibration, right? Like retrogrades teach us how to honor change because it's so part of our life. But just like the modern world has kind of stripped that away from us, you know, like it's made everything feel very clinical and planned and boxed in, and so we've lost touch with nature's natural decaying and rebirth process. And so that's kind of where I feel these two energies meet. That's where I feel these two energies meet this week, is like we have to just accept that, okay, like maybe I'm not supposed to be moving 100 miles per hour this week and really trying to get this project done before my mind decides it's not what I want anymore. That's the ego. It's very Aries. It's very headstrong. And you can see I have moved my body 3 times since recording this video because I'm having a chronic pain flare-up this week, which absolutely for me, I'm like, yeah, Pluto's retrograde, I'm ruled by Pluto, Pluto is squaring Mars, like I'm gonna have a flare-up. That makes sense. Mars also rules the body in some form because it's so physical, it's so movement based. And then Pluto rules my body because it's in my first house. So of course I have a flare-up whilst these planets are fighting each other. And I just had to surrender. Like that's what Pluto ultimately does teach us eventually, is how to surrender into that. Like, what is it that's actually beneath the frustration or the constant need for us as humans in this society to like be going faster? It's like, have you seen the devastation we have caused on the earth and to other souls on this earth by moving too fast? Like, we need to move slower. We need to return to our bodies. We need to go back the way, like, look at what our ancestors were doing, not what like this new form of intelligence is wanting to do that we have literally created, right? And we've been here before, like, you know, their time is just like, there are so many timelines, past, present, and future, playing out at the same time. And more people are awakening to just the vastness of what it actually means to be alive and to be in a body and to have a consciousness and to have a soul and to be existing on earth right now. Like, this is a very interesting time to be alive. And so we have to give ourselves grace because we're dealing with all of that, even if it's not on a very logical level. Like, our bodies are integrating all of these changes, and the masses of information that we are forced to see every day, whether you watch the news or not. Like, if you're on Instagram, you're going to see this stuff. If you're on Facebook, you're going to see this stuff. So much information that we don't need to know, or information that's just being, you know, pushed out so that it programs some sort of belief in us that then follows some sort of narrative or some sort of thread of thinking, you know, whether that's like fear-based or control, or usually those are the two main ones that the mainstream media wants us to be in, you know. So then it's like, oh, we're gonna panic buy all this stuff, or like, I need to have this thing because everyone else has this thing. If I don't have this thing, then like, oh my God, it's like we go into like disaster mode thinking, but in a really dumb way. Like, we literally just perpetuate the cycle of materialism instead of like, oh, maybe the answer is to go back. Maybe the answer is to return to the land, you know, to like being like Taurus the bull, like grazing the grass, like being very grounded and looking after physical vessels. So, yeah. There's a lot of weird energy this week, and you know, I'm realizing more and more through like why God, the universe, source, whatever you want to call it, gave me fibromyalgia, fatigue, you know, like this chronic pain condition that I've had since I was a teenager. And it really, I enter such like deep realizations when I have flare-ups. Like, they're kind of like, it's kind of like pain. I've always seen pain as a portal. And pain really is a portal because it allows you to enter new states of thinking, like new ways of thinking that you otherwise would never, like, your brain just wouldn't go there if life is just hunky-dory all the time. And so I do believe that, you know, whatever like conditions or ailments that like we end up having in life, like they're there for a reason. On some form, our souls agreed to having that condition because it's part of our evolution, it's part of our journey. And for me, this is the first time I've had a flare up in quite a while because my health has been a lot better this year. Hallelujah. But it's really interesting, you know, like every time I'm like, oh, okay, this is why this is happening, because my spirit has been somewhat disconnected from my body because I've been too much in my body. What I mean by that is like I've been almost like abusing my body, so like doing too much, you know, like, or being really hyper fixated on materialistic goals or gain or like career success, like all of these ego driven paths. And so when I have a flare up, I can't do stuff like that, you know, like it's very much like it reconnects me with my soul and my spirit and with what really truly matters. And it reconnects me with like deep gratitude for the simplest things, like being able to get out of bed in the morning, being able to wash my body, being able to speak and hold conversations with people, being able to make this video like I am now. So many things that like we just take for granted so much as humans. And this is something that, yeah, living with chronic illness teaches me so much about just like what it actually means to be human and what it means to be a spiritual being at the same time, and like how do we balance these two things, you know. So folks, Yeah, Pluto retrograde. It's quite a long transit. Like this void energy, I think this is down in Pluto retrograde, and this is gonna last until October. So it is quite a while. But I kind of think it's what we need. Like, the universe this is what the sky is doing. Trust the sky, like what the fuck do we know? We know nothing, clearly. So just let like these transits move through your vessel, and it's a time for, yeah, just like surrendering really. And like you might think, now I know where I'm going to be in 6 months, or like I know where my next destination is, or like there's a lot of people that are going to be traveling this year, relocating, taking on new jobs, selling their houses, stuff like this, because it's the year of the fire horse. So it's like a lot of quantum leaping energy, horses leap, that kind of vibe. But like you might just be very surprised that in 6 months' time you're in a completely different place. It's not that change isn't going to happen, change will still happen, but it might just be differently. It might play out differently to how you expected it to be, because the timeline has changed. Something within you has changed, right? So this is what I mean. Pluto is creating all these internal changes that then the external will match once we have like caught up. So yeah. Okay, and then the last thing, oh yeah, a couple other things that came through. So like what this energy is teaching us is how to respond differently. Like how can we respond differently? So there's going to be things that come up this week with like, oh, for fuck's sake, this thought pattern's coming back, or like, I'm not good enough, I'm not working enough, I'm not earning enough money. Like comparison is a big theme this week. The grass is greener is something that's going to come up a lot this week for people. And why is this happening? It's because the universe wants us to respond differently. It wants us to grow. It wants us to transform these old ways of being into new ways of being. And so in order to do that, we have to slow down a little bit. We have to be gracious with ourselves. We have to approach ourselves with care and curiosity, and not, judgment and control, because again, these are the kind of forces that we're trying to fight on planet Earth at this time, people. Yeah, okay. Something else that came through: drop into the heart, feel the future, sense the future, taste the future. So Gemini season is going to have us all up here, very cerebral, very nervous system based, like I was saying. So like the medicine for this is dropping into your heart space, doing heart space meditations, working, just having your hand on your heart when you pray, or when you, how you connect with yourself or the universe, have your hand on your heart. Ask your heart what it needs, like really take time to tend to your heart. Your heart has a quieter voice than your mind, so it requires you to create a soft, inviting, warm environment for your heart to open, for you to listen to its wisdom. The heart is a portal. Okay, and then lastly, there's a full moon in Sagittarius on this Sunday, right? So Sunday the 31st of May. This is the second full moon of this month, which is why it's also called a blue moon. So the saying once in a blue moon, it's because blue moons are very rare. It's when there's 2 full moons in 1 month. Usually we just have 1 full moon and 1 new moon every month. And this is really powerful. Like this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous full moon, because it's in Sagittarius. Now, usually I wouldn't suggest manifesting under a full moon, because full moons are time of release, they're times of closure. They pack a punch, they can be very physically exhausting. Like there's a lot of shedding, a lot of illumination, but shedding at the same time. However, full moon in Sagittarius is a pretty sweet moon to be manifesting under, because Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, and Jupiter rules expansion, it rules dreams, it rules fortune. Sagittarius to me is like the Fool card, the Wheel of Fortune card. It wants to really leap into life with like, it doesn't worry so much about where its feet are going to land. Like it's here for the journey. So this is a really nice full moon to manifest under. So themes around freedom, themes around taking up space, themes around movement. That can be your physical body. Like you might be like, oh yeah, like I said I was gonna start going to the gym or start this new exercise class or start this new dance class and I've not done it. These kind of like things will come up for you. Sagittarius rules the thighs, right? It wants to move, and groove. But also actual movement, like moving. So themes around travel, themes around vacations. Honestly, my American self comes through so much when I'm recording. Themes around vacations, holidays, themes around long travel, you know, like long trips, pilgrimage shit, relocating, all these kind of stuff. This is a really good full moon to manifest that kind of shit under. Also love and romance. I really feel that this week. Gemini also, Sun in Gemini. Gemini's card in the tarot is the Lovers. And yeah, so when we have this opposition, you know, Sagittarius and Gemini are being lit up this month. It's a nice time to be thinking about these things, you know, like freedom, play, adventure, and then also like love, like who are you going to be on that trip with, or who do you want to meet when you're on the other side of the world, or who do you want to take with you? Who do you love? And how do you love? And these are the kind of things that you want to be tapping into for the Sagittarius full moon. It's a nice time to be doing some spell work. And be creative with it, you know, like don't be like organized Capricorn, like manifestation list that's so like organized and like ticked off, you know, like Sagittarius is messy in the best way. So like make it art, make your manifestation list, like instead of it being a list, just paint something, or like a vision board, but it's like scrappy, you know, like not like perfectly printed off pictures, or sing, create your own song, you know, and record it and post that and send it out into the world, and that's your manifestation. Make it creative is what I'm trying to say. So I hope that helps. That's my little energy video for this week. And yeah, hope everyone's being kind to themselves, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the week as much as possible. Tap into the magic of this blue moon.